what's good? It's VDZ. You already know who it is. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to drop another gem on y'all today. Now, I want to make this one quick because number one, it's freezing out here, and number two, as y'all can see, I'm kind of losing my golden hour. I came down here a little too late to shoot this video, so I'm gonna try to make this one brief. So the topic I want to talk to you guys about today is fear. What's something that you're scared of? You know what I'm saying? What's something that you've just been fearful of since you were younger? There was a thought I had earlier this week, and I realized that a lot of us are holding on to fears and to expired fears. You know what I'm saying? Fears that maybe served us when we were younger that no longer do to this day. No. I was thinking about an irrational fear that I have, which is trypophobia or trypophobia. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but basically it's the fear of like clusters of holes, like a whole bunch of holes and dark circles in sequence. They always just make my skin crawl for whatever reason. And I was thinking about that because when I pictured trypophobia, or you know what I envision when I think about that fear in my head, it's always some just extreme, just blown out, like dramatic, just grotesque scene, right? Where there's just slimy, just dark, oozing holes just all over the place, and it bothered me in my mind when I was picturing that, right? And I actually thought about it. I'm like, you know, I've never in my life seen anything like that. Like, I've never found myself in that scenario. Why is that something that I'm even fearful of, or why does that even bother me, you know? And once I realized that, I actually thought alright, so what are some real life, some practical, you know, some real examples of trypophobia or clusters of holes that I could think of. And I was like, well, there's like shells. I mean, not shells. There's sponges, right? Those have a bunch of holes in them, but that doesn't really bother me in the same way. And then I was thinking of what else? There's like these little coral things. I don't know if they're sand dollars or something along those lines, but it's kind of like coral, a rocky thing, and then it has holes in it. I don't know, I'm only thinking of ocean examples, but those were the ones that came to my mind. And I'm like, oh, well, those have holes, but those don't really bother me like that either. And I realized that I have a fear of something that doesn't really even exist. It's something that I just blew completely out of proportion. And that got me wondering, I'm like, so what is the root of that? And so I went back in my head to the first instance that I can think of this phobia, this fear triggering me. And I remember I was in Cincinnati, I was at my cousin's house, and we were in the backyard playing with water guns. I'm sure we had water balloons too, the whole shebang, right? And there was this crevice in the back of his house. And for whatever reason, he gets the idea to pump up the gun, and then he shoots it like right into the crack of the house. And I remember it started like oozing out some kind of like muddy, just I don't know what the material was, but something started oozing out of there. It just made my skin crawl. I'm like, oh dude, like stop doing that, that's fucking gross. And so that was the first, I mean, that wasn't like really holes, but like kind of cracks, anything that has some kind of, there's something beyond the surface and it's just dark and I don't know what it is, that just bothers my mind. So that was the first instance I could think of. And you know, I realized that looking back on that, that's not even that major. And when I thought of trypophobia, like I told you guys, I blew it out of proportion, right? I was thinking of this whole just huge thing that I've never even experienced, never even saw. But it's something that stemmed from my childhood. It's something that I experienced that's grown, that's clung with me, that I blew out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to my point about saying we all kind of have fears that are expired. You know, we're holding on to expired fears. They no longer serve us. Maybe at some point it was relevant for me to be scared of that thing. And even moths, like moths were something that I was always fearful of as a kid. And I thought back to the source, I remember seeing some movie and there was a giant moth that was killing people. And that's probably where that fear stemmed from, but it clung with me until my older age, through my adolescent years, till I was a young adult. And then I thought rationally, I'm like, yo, moths can't do nothing to me. I mean, they're still gross, the way they flutter around and they just be all nasty looking. They want to be butterflies so bad, right? But I realized that was just irrational, and it was just something so minor, what I'm saying, that grew to be this big thing. And so I say that to say, because I don't want to ramble and my hands are freezing if you can't tell. I say that to say, what is it like? Think about something even just more so practical. Maybe you have a fear of crowds or being alone, being by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just one little instance when you got left at home alone as a kid, or you were out in public and then you got stranded and you lost your family, and now you have that little instance that gave you anxiety grew to be this huge fear of being by yourself or being isolated or being left alone. You know what I'm saying? Like every single fear that we have has stemmed from something that was so minor, and we let it grow. And so what's the point of this video? just take some time to think about what that is, and think about it rationally. Is that fear still serving you? And does it really still apply today is the question I want you to ask yourself. So that's been my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed this nice scenery out here. I wanted to catch the sunset, but I don't think that's really happening right now. So I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Deuces.